Well, good morning, morning, my friends. What is up? It's your friend and pal Seth. My pronouns are he and they. I want to welcome you into your morning inspiration, your morning inspiration video for the day. Okay. If we are keeping track of the number, and guess what we are, because that's what we do, and it's just so freaking fun to do it. Okay. It is day number 109 of our morning inspiration, our morning inspiration videos. I love that. I truly, truly do. So, in addition to it being day number 109, it is also Sunday at the time of this recording, and I always like to call Sundays sensational Sundays. So, with that being said, I will wish you a happy sensational Sunday. I hope that you're having the best sensational Sunday ever. And if you find that you're needing just a little bit of an extra added boost of some motivation today, I really hope this video serves to do that today, helps you to feel maybe at least 1 to 3% better. Let's stretch it to 4 or 5%. And as we can also see, I have tons of energy this morning. So I will also just pep you the heck up. Let me be your pepper. Yes. Let me be your pepper. Doesn't that sound interesting? I love it. Anyway, so yes, let me be your pepper for today. Okay, I will pep you the heck up. All right, so there we go. So because it is Sunday, what we always do around here in these morning inspiration videos, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that Sundays, what do we do on Sundays? We do have our new week preview. Okay, it is new week preview time, y'all. All right, so I'm going to be discussing in today's inspiration video what we're going to be discussing inside of the community of practice that I belong to for this week, some of the topics and themes and everything that we're going to be going over this week. Now, again, I don't do a very deep dive, but I do kind of a surface dive. So if we're not deep down, we're surface. Yes. So like a surface dive in a way, staying on the surface. All right. So without further ado, let us get into it. So this week is going to be this week's going to be amazing. So one of the things we're going to be talking about this week is this whole concept of setting boundaries, as well as not feeling guilty when we set those boundaries. Have you ever felt like when you set a boundary with another person or with ourselves or anything, we tend to start to feel guilty for setting it, or other people start to make us, feel guilty with their actions or their words or anything. I know that is definitely something that has been my experience. So as one of the things we're going to be talking about is this whole concept of setting boundaries and ways that we can set boundaries while also not feeling that guilty feeling for actually setting them. A lot of this, is really connected to that self-advocacy part, and taking personal responsibility for ourselves and advocating for ourselves as well. And it really comes, a long way when we're really trying to protect ourselves. And one of the things we may start, be really, protecting ourselves from is a lot of our trauma. Okay. And being able to set boundaries, especially, for those of us that have experienced trauma and everything, is something that's really, really important and really, really vital. So another thing we're going to be talking about this week is trauma responses. And, figuring out kind of what are our responses when it comes to specific trauma that we may have experienced in the past, or we may be experiencing right now. So it's something that's really, really powerful. All right. So in addition to setting boundaries and figuring out ways to not feel guilty for setting them, as well as trauma responses, we're going to be talking about ways to kind of raise our vibrations. So when we're able to kind of set boundaries and everything, we have our trauma responses, we're able to set boundaries and everything, raising our vibrations and focusing on self-care as well is something that's really, really vital. And that's also something that really kind of helps us, to, again, that feeling guilty, aspect about setting boundaries, about, needing that time for ourselves and everything, being able to, give ourselves the most amazing self-care ever is really, really paramount and really, really important. And also raising our vibrations as well. There are certain activities, certain things that we can do that actually get us in a more, I want to say also more positive frame of mind, or a more positive mindset, and just feeling great, inside of your body and that help you to heal. And that's about and that's what's kind of entailed when we talk about raising our vibrations. The Beach Boys talked about good vibrations. Oh yes. Okay. Rings true right here. All right, so that's another thing we're going to be talking about, is raising our vibrations, as well as the um attributes and the most amazing type of self-care that we can give ourselves. So this is going to be an incredible week. All right, we're going to be talking about setting boundaries, not feeling guilty for setting our boundaries, our own trauma responses, as well as kind of raising our vibrations, as well as giving ourselves the most amazing self-care ever. All right, so it's going to be a fantastic week. Now, again, I pretty much just scratched the surface of this week. We're going to be delving into other things, but again, it's a little bit of a surprise. So, when you see the preview videos for this week, and also if you'd love to join us inside of our community of practice, that would also be awesome. Okay, so in addition to what we're going to be speaking about this week, I have a quote as well as a song for inspiration for everybody. And the quote for today comes from Julian Sefter. I believe that's how you say it, or Sefter. And the quote says, "You are not your illness. You have an individual story to tell. You have a name, a history, a personality. Staying yourself is part of the battle." That's by Julian Sefter. I love that quote. And it's one of those things that kind of really rings true, especially, for me, because I have depression as well as anxiety and PTSD. And I know that there could, be times where, I would say that I'm feeling depressed, or someone says, "How are you feeling today?" It's like, "I'm depressed," instead of "I am feeling depressed." One of them, again, you're saying your identity, and one is saying how you're feeling. The thing is, we are not our illness. We're not depressed. We're not anxious. We're not trauma. Pretty much we're experiencing. I'm experiencing anxiety. I'm experiencing depression. I'm experiencing, whatever it is. Okay, so again, there's it's something that's I think that's really, really powerful to really help to distinguish, interestingly enough. So the song for inspiration for today is one of my favorite songs. It's "Believer" by Imagine Dragons. I absolutely love this song. Okay, if you're able to download the lyrics to it or listen to it, oh my god, it's incredible. And a lot of this song is about finding strength and meaning in life's hardships and pain. Difficult experiences can ultimately lead us to a stronger and more appreciative perspective on life. I know I've talked about, perspective change and everything in a lot of other videos and all of that, but it's something that really rings true. And with this song, it's really about finding that strength and that meaning in a lot of hardships and pain. It's really about this type of resilience. And I think all of us have that resilience within us. There are times where it may be more difficult to find and everything, but especially with a lot of the things we're going to be talking about this week, about setting boundaries and raising our vibrations, self-care, figuring out what our trauma responses are. That's going to be paramount in figuring out ways to kind of build up that resilience that we all have inside of us. All right, so that will about do it for your morning inspiration, your morning inspiration video for today. It's going to be an amazing, incredibly amazing week. And I will say, don't quit before the miracle happens, my babies. Find ways to keep moving forward, because you are amazing. You are worth it. Let's join hands and do this together. All right. In addition to that, I will also say, stay positive, stay motivated, and stay focused on your amazing, huge, big dreams and goals, my friends. Okay. So thank you so much for watching our morning inspiration, your morning inspiration video for today. And I will see you. Hey, you. Mwah. I will see you in the morning video for tomorrow, right? Yes. There you go. Good. So I will see you in the morning inspiration video for tomorrow.